Boatworks today is sponsored by Total Boat and Alexial Yacht Coatings, as well as supported by the generosity from the beautiful folks over on Patreon. Thank you so much. So this has been the kind of week that if you're not careful will absolutely give you a panic attack. I came this close, but I didn't. I didn't quite get there. Not, at least not yet. The week's not done. Saturday, that's going to be the true test. We got a big thing coming up on Saturday, which I'll touch more on that at the end of the video. So welcome back, everybody. Hope you are all having a fantastic weekend. My name is Andy with Boatworks today, and this past week and a half has been trying, I guess, to put it politely. But at the end of the day, we got it all done. Now, if you remember where I left off on my very, very brief video last week, the one that I had started off by saying this is not going to be a normal video, yeah, you know who you are. Basically, there was one main big push for timeline-wise trying to get everything finished. Now, for the past week and a half, I've essentially been on beast mode, just running electric, specifically on the lights. And the big push for that, obviously was one that I wanted to get it done. It needs to get done. I need to get things back up and running. But kind of the more underlying factor was that the scissor lift that I was renting, that had to go down the road, and it still hasn't gone. It's sitting down in my driveway or in my garage right now. But that had to be done by last Monday of this past week. And I got it done. Everything that I was able to get done, I did get done. Again, I'll kind of elaborate here in a second. And it's a good thing that I did because so I finished that Monday night. Well, that Monday night, we were under a storm warning, storm advisory, something like that, winter storm warning. And so it was about 5 or 6 o'clock when I started to actually try and get it down the hill. And by that time, we had about 2 inches, inch and a half, 2 inches of snow, and it was coming down pretty flippin' hard. And to get the thing up here, going back a month and a half ago, I had to use the tractor to pull it up the hill. Well, to get it down the hill, I had to have the tractor behind the lift just so I didn't go down the hill like a toboggan. So it was a little sketchy. My wife did a great job driving the tractor. Her second time, she killed it in a good way. But we got it down there, and just as I was able to get it down the hill into the garage, the battery was flat. Now, the batteries on that thing, they seriously need to be replaced, but that's not my responsibility. I'll just pass that information along. But we got it done. Now, snow has settled quite a bit since Tuesday morning, but when I woke up on Tuesday morning, we had about 10, 11 inches of snow. So basically, if I hadn't gotten the lift down that Monday night, it would probably be stuck here for most likely the rest of the season. At $1,000 a month, that would not have been good. But all of the lighting that I had, I was able to get up and running, didn't have a single backfire, everything just worked. Now, as you can see, I got the lights over top of the mezzanine, as well as all the work lights in the work bay, and then, well, as of last week, I already had the lights over in the utility area. Now, there is 4 more lights that are supposed to be going up right there, and unfortunately, I didn't have them. When all these boxes of lighting were delivered, I don't know, a month and a half, 2 months ago, all I saw was just a big old pile of boxes. I didn't open anything up. I didn't want anything to get misplaced or anything like that. So just basically put them in a pile and just kind of put them on the back burner. Well, over this past week, trying to get all the lights set up, so I did start actually going through and opening the boxes because there's different types of lights for different locations. So trying to go through and figure out which lights are going where, and turns out that the lighting over in that corner, back over there, I was short. I didn't have them. So I got a hold of Jim, which I'm going to talk more about him here over at Green Lights. Got a hold of Jim and said, hey, kind of a bit of a panic attack here. We got 4 lights that are missing. Wow. And he's like, okay, well, let me look into it. So he basically looked into it, pulled up the shipping order on their end, and it did ship. So, I mean, it's not anything that, was dropped on their end. It's lost in UPS. So we got that sorted out on Friday, last Friday. So anyways, the short story, he's got, another box of 4 units on its way. I suspect it'll probably be here on like Monday or Tuesday. I think that's going to have to just wait until I get another lift. One of the contractors that I've been working with here, he did say that he has a lift that he'll let me borrow. I don't know if I'm going to end up having to store here over the winter, whatever. I mean, or not, whatever. Either way, it doesn't matter. but he was kind enough to let me borrow the lift. So whenever we can coordinate schedules here, I'll get that in, get those last 4 remaining lights, and then that part of the project will be 100% done. But I will say, even without those 4 lights, the lighting in here is absolutely incredible. I didn't really quite fully understand how bad the lighting was in my old shop until, holy hell, you turn this stuff on. I mean, you always got to wear sunglasses in here. But that's a good thing. Cameras like lighting. Now, not all lights are created equal. I mean, these were very specific, I guess, a color, temperature, and brightness and everything else. Now, the company that I went with is American Green Lights out of California, and specifically my contact there was Jim Uno. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to all this, because there is actually quite a bit to it. So that's why you work with people that actually do know what they're talking about. And Jim, I'll tell you, this guy was awesome. He was easy to work with. He asked the right questions, and that's not always something that's easy to find. But after that, he put in a ton of legwork to make sure that I got the right layout, the right lights in the right locations to make sure that the color was accurate. And I didn't have exposure blowout because, you got hot spots. Some places is dimly lit, some places overlit. He did a fantastic job. And one of the things that actually really impressed me the most were all these little lighting simulations that he did. I mean, on the fly, he could go through, place different lights in different locations, different watt lights, different orientations. He could do all this on the fly and basically get a computer simulation of what, the color rendering and the brightness would actually be. And now that I've got all the lights up in the shop and they're hooked up and running, these simulations were spot on. So there is some science behind lighting, and if you're going to be looking at a project whether it's a shop or your house or whatever, it is well worth the time and the effort to actually talk with someone that can put something like this together for you. It'll save you money, whether just make sure you're not buying too many lights or you're going to be disappointed because you didn't get the right lights or you didn't get enough. So if you are going to be in the market soon for lighting packages like this, I will have a discount code down below in the description where you can get 10% off of the lights from the American Green Lights. Now, this is not an affiliate link. I don't make anything off of this. This is just a way for me to pass along a thank you and try and save you some money. But to get things started, since I have 20 some lights that I need to install here, I'm actually making some 3-foot whips, or basically electrical plug-in cords. Now, I could have easily hardwired these right off of the conduit, but since I'm doing this install for the most part by myself, and having limited time on with the scissor lift, I just felt this was going to be the fastest way to get to the finish line. So these whips, I can make these at nighttime, and turn on some music, whatever, turn on some TV or whatever. I can make these at nighttime so that the following day, installing the lights, actually the first couple actually were a little bit of a process, but after I figured out kind of what steps I need to take, step by step, I was able to get each light installed and basically fired up within like 10 minutes of one another. Now, I don't typically do a lot of wiring, but this was just crazy simple, straightforward. I mean, basically you take the wires, green to green, white to white, black to black, put a nut on it, and well, time to start hanging. So going back to the layout map that Jim had put together for me, in total I ended up hanging 21 lights. Now again, I'm still missing those 4, so add that up to 25. So 25 lights total. And as you can see here, the majority of the lights in the main bay area, they were the 144 watts, and those little suckers throw out some light. Now above and below in the mezzanine, those were knocked down to little 24 watt ones, because honestly the ceiling is only like 7 feet tall, so you don't want a big blaring light like literally 6 inches from your head. It'll just make you go blind. So 24 watts in the mezzanine area, 144 watts in the main bay area. Now I did alter the layout, or the location of each of these lights just ever so slightly, just to make more efficient use of the materials. Like for example, the conduit, that typically comes in 10-foot sticks. Well, in the diagram here, these lights are spaced at 11 feet apart. So I'm thinking, well, let me just kind of kick in the ends a little bit, and then I'll space them all at 10 feet apart, and then I don't have to do any cutting. It just seemed to be a more efficient use of the materials that I had on hand, and less cutting, less work. So for right now, I'm recording this. It's Thursday early afternoon. I need to get a lot of cleaning and organizing done in here, because the moment that I've been waiting for and working towards since May, tomorrow morning, Friday morning, I'm heading back to Wisconsin, and I'm going to get the Bertram prepped, got to get the bulkhead secured, get everything moved out of the way, load up as much material as I can in the boat and in the back of the truck, and then Saturday morning, we're heading down the road. So by the time you're seeing this on YouTube on Sunday morning, hopefully the Bertram will be here without issue. Now, this boat has not gone down the road in about 12 years. So, I've got some concerns on the bearings and on the trailer. We'll see. It's, like I said, it's about a 2.5-hour run. I don't know. I get nervous about this mechanical stuff. But I have my buddy Paul. I'm sure you'll see him probably next week. I'm gonna film the move here, good or bad. But Paul, he's already gone through and checked each of the wheels, each of the bearings. He said everything looks good. He checked the brakes. So I guess we'll see. Fingers crossed. Last thing I want to do is a breakdown in the middle of nowhere. That would be no bueno, because honestly, I don't know what you do. If you blow out a bearing on a 25, 30-foot boat on the highway, what do you do? I mean, it's not like a wrecker can come and grab the boat, right? So, I don't know. I guess fingers crossed, please let this work. And with that said, I think this is going to be a good place to end this video, at least for this week. So, as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it interesting. Please wish me luck. And if you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you in advance. Really appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, words of wisdom, please leave those down below, and I will read every single one. I'll do my best to get back with you. And as always, thank you for your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week, hopefully, on my baby.
This has been a Boatworks Today production.